What does it mean not to be on the map? To be off the grid? When you are in the bottom, it is the difference between sinking and swimming. The barrier to improving your lives. If you don't exist on a map, how can you open a bank account? How can you vote? We all must prove where we belong. If the government cannot give us an address, then we have to look to other means. My name is Sizwe Nzima, and I run a courier company that collects chronic medication parcels from public hospitals and clinics in local townships and delivers them to the patient's doorstep. I started the business because of my grandparents. So my grandparents had to go and collect chronic medication at the hospital. And as a young boy growing up with my grandparents, I saw them experience tough times in getting the medication. And as I grew up, I had that responsibility to actually go and collect those medication. And being at the clinic and sitting in those long queues and waiting for those long hours, I actually had an experience of how bad it was. Being in an environment where you can easily be vulnerable to get sick. And that's when I told myself, let me start the business that will focus on collecting medication for people and delivering them at their doorstep. Khayelitsha is like a maze. It's not an easy place to locate addresses. You know, when we started, we experienced some challenges. So that has been proven in the past with logistics companies not being able to really work out the routes and the addresses in Khayelitsha because of the way the township is structured in terms of informal roads, informal addresses, informal housing, and so on. An app like what3words can help us expand in terms of understanding our routes better. With an app that will allow us to actually distinguish which is the shortest route, that can really help us. That can also help us store the address on the map so that we don't have to get lost again. My dream is to be able to create more structure in terms of accessing or navigating the township maze. If you order something, it has to be delivered at your doorstep, irregardless of how informal the settlement is, regardless of how structured the settlement is. Getting access to medication, for me, is really important, and that's what I want to bring on the table.